What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match reaction time. Leeds United 2, Brighton 2. Was it fortunate in the end? Did we deserve to win? Listen, I'll get your thoughts on this game and everything else that's happened today, because it's been a bit mad, from Bournemouth beating Liverpool earlier. Currently, as I speak right now, Everton are beating Brentford at home. I mean, you just can't write this stuff, can you? You just can't write this stuff. And currently, as it stands right now, we're 19th in the table. So yeah, we're in trouble. Obviously, we've been in trouble anyway. But when you see yourself beyond that line of safety, it just hits home a little bit harder, doesn't it? Um, hit the like buttons, of course. You know the drill. Hit the like; it's free. Best way to support the channel. Hit the subscribe button, and of course, leave your comments after. Katrina saying a point better than a loss, I suppose. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, I had this down as a loss. You saw what Brighton were doing today, and we're going to talk about how Brighton played too. But you saw how Brighton were today. They carved us open so many times. I mean, we've spoken before about that weak link that we've got out of the two in Ayling and Christensen. We might have to have a conversation about bringing Christensen back, because this thing with Ayling getting ripped at defensively is happening a little bit too often for me. And I know Mitoma is on this level and Ayling somewhere down here, but sometimes you got to just give yourself a bit more of a chance. I think Rasmus defensively, even though he'll give us nothing going forward, may be able to handle it a bit better. But listen, we'll talk about that in another stream. Maybe we'll talk about it a bit on here. But Mitoma was, as a football fan, he was electric today. He was magnificent. Yeah, listen, Reggie is saying results around us don't help us. They don't, but this is it, Reggie. This is the problem. We have to help ourselves. Like, we can't keep on looking at other teams' results and hoping that our little draw or our narrow loss has kept us above the relegation zone. We have to get 3 points on the board. We have to start doing that. Jim is saying here, Ayling was so poor in that first half in particular. Yeah, it wasn't. This is the problem that we've got though, Jim. And you know, there's no point talking about transfers, transfer windows. There's no point talking about that. These are the two right backs that we've currently got right now, and you have to pick one of two. And yes, Christensen is not in favor. He wasn't in favor under Jesse before Jesse left, and he's certainly not under favor under Javi. But it might be worth putting him back in for a game, because defensively, Luke is being ripped too many times. Like, as good as okay, let me just say okay, not good. As okay as he is going forward, defensively, how many times? Let me ask you a question. How many times have you seen in the last 4 games Luke Ayling trying to track back and the ball goes straight over his head to the opposing winger? How many times have you seen it? I've seen it so many times, and it's starting to get me a little bit nervous. Now, I know we've built a back four that has been consistent, but it might need a little bit of a tweak here and there. But we'll see what Javi's going to do, because, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. And keep getting your comments in. I'm gonna, yeah. I mean, listen, Tuck. It could be that many times, Tuck. 30 times, Tom. Yeah, you may be close 20. It happens so many times. The ball, he's running backwards. The ball just goes over his head, and the attackers are in behind him. It happens so many times. But I mean, listen, Ayling so slow. Yeah, but somebody else. It's gone up. I'm sorry, I can't get that one. But he said that Rasmus is so bad. But I get it, people. But this is what we've got to work with for the rest of the season. Ben, that's a good question. That's a good question, because we've got to talk about that. Jay Beats is saying Ayling and Cock scared me. I thought Cock was okay today. I mean, listen, you know, he was up McAllister a little bit today, especially in the first half. Pause. I'm surprised he got away with so many little fouls. Obviously, the ref had to speak to him in the end. But yeah, I mean, listen, I thought Cock was all right today, and he did make a real good block as well in the first half, tidying up Adams's mess a little bit. So yeah, for me, Cock doesn't scare me like that, but Ayling for me is, I just wish that he wouldn't be so erratic. Or if you're not going to be able to, if you know you can't get back, just stay in your defensive lane. Just stay there, man. But yeah, it's all mad. It's all mad. Let me just see. Igor with the super chat. Thank you, Igor. Superb cameo from Cine. Glad he's back. we got to talk about this, and I guess Ben is kind of asking that question. KG, what are your thoughts on Gracia so far? Yeah, and some people are saying there that Everton have beaten Brentford today. So there you go. 3 points for Everton today. Well, listen. See, Gracia, this is another thing. This is another thing as well for me. we have to look at Gracia a little bit here, because yet again, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When I saw that team lineup, when I saw that lineup at the start, I was like, what is this? There was no McKennie. We saw Harrison and Bamford starting. Um, no Nanto again, and I was with him. I was with him last week against Chelsea. I kind of got it that Nanto probably needed to come out the starting lineup for a game. Absolutely understood that. But 2 weeks in a row, I can't have that, because he's literally our best attacker, and you saw that when he came on a sub. So I'm starting to wonder, is this just another hire where it's happy families again? The one thing that I don't want from our coaches, I've said it how many times, I don't want a manager that comes in. Whatever these guys have got, Harrison, Bamford, Ayling, whatever they've got, they must have some real good chat on the training field, because I don't get why every manager just keeps picking these guys, especially when there's other ones. People were talking about today, look how strong our bench is. That's all well and good, but you've got to look at your starting lineup and go, oh, damn, that's a bit weak. That's a bit weak here and there. So there's no point for me having a strong bench and then having a weak 11. That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, Gracia again, Nanto on the bench, and then you have to look at it in totality with how he's used Nanto so far. Sometimes Nanto has needed to be subbed off, of course, because he's been doubled up. But then he gets subbed off early. He was sub last week. He was sub this week, and it's like, this is our best player. This is currently our best attacker, and he's not getting starts. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll talk about that more in next week's show, because obviously this is for the game today. But yeah, the starting lineup didn't give me any confidence. I see Brighton's lineup, I think, oh damn, this is going to be a long day. But yeah, it's God. The thing is, the thing is about today's result. It's a good point, but the reality is, with the results that have happened around us, it's looking a bit iffy, isn't it? It looks like a point where you go, oh damn, we needed 3 today. Kaya is saying reactive subs, not proactive. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And the previous coach before used to get hammered for that. So you got to keep the same energy. You have to. Just going to get a couple of super chats here before they disappear. CJ lad saying Harrison redeemed himself. Good draw onto Wolves. We're going to talk about Harrison. I mean, if a game encapsulated what Jack Harrison's all about, it was today. I mean, come on. Brian saying even offensively, Ayling was poor. He had his opportunities at the back pass that I think. Oh, he had his opportunities that I think Rasmus would have buried. I mean, there's no evidence of that, though, Brian. The thing is, with Rasmus, there really is no evidence that he'd bury anything, because he barely gets past the halfway line. That's the thing with Rasmus. So we don't really know, do we? Mr. P with the super chat. Thank you. My waters weren't wrong. We didn't see a Leeds defeat. Nanto has to start with the likes of Rodrigo, who brought players into the game. Yeah. Ain't easy being Leedsy. No, it isn't. That's a real good name, by the way. KG always saying Harrison scores in groups. Well, he put 2 away today. He certainly did. Nicholas here saying the difference for us was to see a much better bench. That's what I was hoping to see. But then the starting lineup was weaker. You know, it's only good when you've got a good bench. If your starting lineup looks good too, and you go, ooh, now we can make some real good changes here. But when you're begging for some of our bench players to come on because they're better than the starting 11, it kind of like counteracts that point, doesn't it? Aina here saying you'd like to think a new manager we would use different players. I just think that when I'm talking about a coach, people, and I know a lot of people won't like this, but you're gonna have to go with it because this is a football channel too. I look at Ten Hag at Man United, who comes in and he says, Cristiano Ronaldo, don't care about you. Harry Maguire, I don't care about you. I'm going to do the best thing to make this team successful. And I just don't feel like we're getting coaches like that. I feel like we're getting coaches that placate to the old guard, placate to the promotion guys, and will always try. And no matter what, shoehorn them in the team. And that's what we need to be free of, people. We really need to be free of that. But hey, Freddie Mac here saying, what exactly are our tactics? Yeah. Well, listen, we were playing cautiously today, and I know it sucks because we're at home, but you have to understand, and you saw it today with Brighton, how many times they ripped us. And listen, let me not just go on Ayling too, by the way. Mitoma had him for breakfast today. It was easy, easy money for Mitoma today. But Junior Firpo also got turned inside out by March today. Have to say it. Junior Firpo, it wasn't his best outing today. March had the better of him today. We weren't getting any joy out of our fullbacks defensively today. That's going to happen in certain games, though. That's going to happen. We're not 19th in the table because we've got outstanding players all over the pitch. We're going to have games like this where our fullbacks get rinsed, and today was one of them. Yeah, I mean, Deshaun, I mean, it really, and this is another thing as well. We talk about changes. In reality, when you see Ailing having the game that he had today, show mercy, man. Take him off. Like just bring him off and let him reset himself and go again next week. But that's what I'm saying. And this comes down to the coach. This comes down to the coach. Nabino saying Brighton were toying with us in the first half. They were. And then you saw that opportunity as well. The one where Matoma got around Ailing. I know you probably lost count of that one, but he pulled it back nicely from McAllister and he just mishit it and went wide. It was a theme today. It was a theme. But yeah, KO, of course. Firpo was definitely better of the two, but again, bar on the floor. On the floor. Okay, yep, let's talk about him, man. Let's talk. Tom is saying here, why is everyone so down on Harrison? 2 goals, 2 goals and an assist today. Listen, you see the thing with Harrison today, and let's talk about our goals as well, because what have we been begging for, people? Shoot the ball. And even for the first 26 minutes, I had it noted down. We'd get to the edge of the box, and what was happening? The move would break down, or the shot would be very, very tame, or it get blocked away. Bamford, for the credit, with his right foot as well, not his favored foot, just hit one, took a wicked deflection. I mean, that deflection was massive, by the way, but it went in. But that's what you get. That's how you get goals in the Prem. You can't always wait. What I noted down as well was it seemed like we was waiting for the perfect opportunity, perfect shooting lane, perfect angle. We can't do that. Now I understand that the confidence will be low, but we've got to get our shots off. That's the only way we can do it. And I hope now today with Bamford doing that, the more of them continue to do that and carry on. Rodrigo coming back. Hopefully he's fit to start next week. For me, I know Bamford scored today, and good luck to him. Rodrigo comes straight back in for me against Wolves if he's 100% fit. Yeah, I know it was sarcastic. I know it was sarcastic, Tom, but it's true though, isn't it? It is true. And their second goal. I mean, just bad defending all round, isn't it? It was so easy. March was turning people inside out, crossed it over. Matoma, danger man again, nutted it across. McAllister free as a bird, 2-1. And you know what? What a miss by Welbeck, by the way. Huge miss by Welbeck. Puts that in 3-1. Obviously, the game will be done by then. Obviously, it would be done at 3-1. But that miss, then it opens it up. Nanto comes on the pitch as he should. He should be on the pitch. Good quick corner as well to Harrison, who on his right foot again. Harrison, give you credit on your right, and you score a goal. And it was a beautiful goal, good curling goal into the corner. But the one before Harrison, hey, listen, that own goal was a bit mad to me. Like, you could have blasted that anywhere and it went in the goal. But yeah, that's what I mean with Harrison today. Assist goal for us, but he was still kind of poor. That's what I mean. It's just so mad with him, isn't it? It's so mad. There were so many times he run into like cul-de-sacs and lost the ball, but he's come out the game with 2 goal contributions. Now, in reality, you can't ask for any more than that, can you? But for me, it's still the same thing. When Nanto is fit, and I haven't had a word that he isn't fit, he should start. He should start. Like Nate here says, Harrison, perfect squad player, but Nanto is miles clear. He is. It's not even a close thing for me. It's not even close. You play the two, and that's what's concerning me. That it'll be very interesting next week to see the lineup against Wolves, because if Nanto's not starting, I think there's a bit of a problem there. And for me, for a manager that's on a flexible contract, I'm taking Nanto over Javi Gracia every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Just got to say that. Ian here saying this match encapsulated Harrison hot and cold. It's so mad. Like it really did just describe Harrison in a nutshell today. An assist, own goal, and then a curling goal with his right foot. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Jamie here saying, don't understand how that's a good point. Brentford and West Ham at home were a good point. We're in major trouble, and we've got to face it. We are in major trouble, Jamie. We are. I mean, the thing was, like I say, Jamie, a bit earlier, it would have been a good point if other results had gone the way that you would hope they would. But this is football, and it's very unpredictable, isn't it? And this is why we love the game. But who would have had Bournemouth beating Liverpool 1-0 earlier? Who would have had Everton beating Brentford 1-0? Like these results are going to happen. And again, let me just give the full context of this as well, because I know that they've got wins. But listen, we're 19th with 23 points. It's sickening. Oh man, I need a moment. That's sickening, man. But listen, even with the win for Everton, they're on 25. They're 2 points ahead. Leicester today. I think did Leicester lose? I think they did lose. Let me just check. Yeah, they lost to Chelsea. So, we got Chelsea season up and running, people. So, yeah, there's positives for everything, right? Since they beat us, they've won more games in a row. Crazy how we do that for teams. Crazy. But yeah, Leicester, they're on 24 points. Bournemouth, even with their win, they're on 24. West Ham on 23. I think they play tomorrow or Monday, or I think it's tomorrow, actually. But that's what I mean. Everything is still tight. But we got to get wins, people. We have to get wins. And it's coming to the point where you're just like, where is the win coming from? We got Wolves next week. That's going to be it's either going to be very boring or a very tight game. But yeah, Cloud Dizzle, where is the next win coming from? I have no idea. But you know what? For all the people that have written us off against teams like Spurs, Arsenal, etc., those top teams, those are the teams where we've got wins this season. So I'm not writing those games off. I don't think anybody can. You've seen today Bournemouth. I'm sure their fans would have probably been looking at the Liverpool game today and saying, well, this will be a nice day out. Let's just enjoy it. They got 3 points. Anything can happen. But it's just, even I'm struggling to look at this team and go, we're going to get a win. I just don't know. Uh, somebody say, Mick is saying, yep, it's coming. I hope so, man. I hope so. It's exhausting doing this. Honestly, doing this, I was not looking forward to this, especially when Brighton went 1-0 up. I thought, man, this last year or so, we talked about it in the preview, but it is really true. Waiting for Leeds to play football is scarier than watching Scream 6 this week. Like, I was excited to watch Scream 6 this week. I wasn't excited for this game today. I wasn't. And I hate saying that because I love watching my team play. But it's just not fun when you don't win. Who finds fun in that? I don't get it. Jimmy McShaw with a super chat saying, we deserve nothing, got one. McKenny, shoot the ball. Liam Moore, shout out to you, Liam. It's a point in the bank. If we stay up by 1 point at the end of the season, there you go. Good point, but it's still a lot. It's still too tight for me, and I'm still not in the camp, even though we are now in the bottom three, to say it's over. I think there's still too many games to play, too many other twists and turns. But yeah, I think overall for me today, with the way that, especially with the way the first half went, I think we should be happy with a point in isolation, not with the where we are in the table, but in isolation alone. Get a point from this Brighton team, I think is good going. Darren here saying, to be fair, Brighton is very good. I'm just glad we didn't lose. Yeah, they were good. Really, really good. And I mentioned in the preview, and I've mentioned in other streams as well, how Solly Marsh and De Zerbi in particular has unlocked Solly Marsh to start adding goal contributions to his game. And unfortunately, we got that today. He was robbed of a goal, but he was involved there with Jack Harrison. Matoma is Matoma, and hopefully Brighton can keep him. Moises Caicedo today was real good as well. There's just a lot of weapons in their team. So, yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't defy the script again and get a win, but we'll take the point. Spen here saying, who are we beating if we aren't beating Brighton at home? I think that's unfair on Brighton, Spen. I think that's kind of not dis- I think it's kind of disrespecting Brighton, because if you look at where Brighton are in the table, Spen, where are they now? They're seventh in the league, Spen. They're not easy team to beat. They got 39 points. So in reality, you're probably looking at Brighton coming here and going, damn, how did we not beat this team that's 19th in the table? You know what I mean? And that was, I mean, somebody left a comment on the preview as well saying we won't beat Spurs and that we should beat Brighton. I would much rather, I know Spurs won today, but I would much rather have played Spurs today than Brighton. You have sometimes, it's not just by the club name, it's not just by the history of the club. It's about what's going on right now. And in form, Brighton are one of the best teams in the league. Um, let's have a look. John Knox here saying Brighton are a top team, might be in Europe next season. Yeah, they're battling for Europa League here. So then, it's not an easy team to beat. James Tyree, though, saying next week is a must win. I mean, how many have we had, James? Every game's a must win, James. Every single one. It every single one is a must win, especially in our position. One win against Southampton for me, it I mean, it's just not enough, is it? It's just not enough. And that's what I mean. Coming on here, trying to talk about this team and see where we're going, like how we're going to go forward and get a win. It's tough right now. It really is tough, especially when we're putting out the first team that we saw today. I just did not like the selections from the start. And I hope that there's reasons behind it. Obviously, Gracia doesn't really give away much in the press conferences, but I need to know why so many of our better players were left on the bench. And sometimes for me, it's if they can't last the 90 minutes, play them. And then once they're tired, then take them off and bring on your second string. That's what I would do sometimes for me. But listen, I don't get paid that kind of money to make those decisions, do I? Mr. P again with the super chat. Thank you. 2 great goals, defending and let us down. Harrison. That's what I'm saying. Listen, there's still people in the comments now that are saying Harrison, even with his 2 goal contributions today, and I know 3, I know, are just like they've had enough of him. It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy, but I completely get it. One game doesn't change for me. He needs to now get 2 contributions next week, but we'll see, won't we? Because we know what usually happens with Jack now. He's got his goal contributions today. Let's see how long it takes for him to get his next ones. David Evans here saying, I certainly didn't expect anything. And with the way the game played, have to be happy. I'm with you, David. Must win now the games against the lesser teams. But David, we got to win them as well against some of the better teams too, much like Bournemouth did today, much like we did at Liverpool. We have to upset the script at times, not just let everyone else do it. We have to get involved in that too. And Andy's had enough. I'm tired and done. I feel you. I feel you. I know. Ian here saying, I'm sick of Harrison. I was screaming at my screen. I hear you. Robert here saying, positive note, good that Bamford got one with his right foot. I thought he used that just to stand on. Tremendous. Leesy's lead saying, fed up of seeing Ayling, Aronson, and Harrison starting. Yeah, I mean, even Aronson today. There was a time in the first half, and I do like Aronson. You guys know I like him, but there was a time where he did not need to go down. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but it was kind of like in the 20 something minute, maybe. But he was running through, and there wasn't really any pressure on him. And he felt a little something and went down. And the referee was never going to give a free kick. And he tried to stay down a little bit and sell it. He needs to cut that out. I've said before with Aronson, he's got the speed. He has got the passing on him. He put a lovely ball to Bamford in after Bamford scored, and Bamford hit the side netting. But he has to be a bit more diminutive. He has to be a bit more elusive with his movement. But yeah, and that's the thing as well. Aronson, yeah, Jake, he wasn't bad, but you know what I mean. If you're gonna take McKennie out, McKennie comes in ahead of him. He comes in ahead. Jay Beats is saying this happened 10 times this game. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, I mean, what's everyone saying? Let me get some of your last comments in before we wrap this up. We'll be back. I'll be back with another show in the week, maybe Monday or something like that. Just to talk about a bit more about Gracia and some of the decisions with the lineup and everything. Jamie here saying apologies for the negativity, but we've got to win our home games. Drop too many points for it to be a point gained. Teams in and around us picking up wins at home. Our away form is abysmal. Yeah, listen, I can't disagree with any of that, and it's not negative, Jamie. You're actually saying it how it is. That's another thing, man. Negativity. It's not negative if it's what's going on. Sometimes I get comments on here after the video's done where, oh, so is this a blame Harrison thing now? And it's like, what are you watching? Do you support Leeds or do you support Jack Harrison? Which is the one? For me, player FCs are very weird, very strange to me. You should always look out for what you want, the best thing for your club. And when people are pointing out obvious things that are happening, why question it? I don't get that kind of thing. But hey, yeah, listen, R3's penalty on Rodrigo at the end. What did people think about that one? Let me know. Jerry is saying, not sure about this manager. Think he will relegate us. We're definitely more. I will say this: we're definitely more organized with this guy. It's quite clear that we're not playing frantic football where three people go and press somebody for absolutely no reason at all. It's definitely more organized. But now the lineup decisions for me are starting to get a little bit. I need the next one against Wolves will tell me a lot. The next one, but for me, you don't drop Nanto 2 games in a row. You just don't do that for me. I mean, listen, there's people in here saying don't think it's a pen. Defender got the ball. It wasn't a penalty. Brighton defended well. It was a penalty. There you go. Joe Mark saying people have been calling out Harrison for weeks on 100% he should be dropped. But this is it now, Joe. The thing is, you saw it after the Man United games with Luke Ayling. He had one okay game for 60 minutes, and then the second one for me was better. But once the old favorites get a little bit of a whiff of a decent to good game, they're in the team. You've seen it over and over again, and you'll see it again. Harrison now with 2 goal contributions will probably start the next game as well. It just happens with those guys. But you see, Nanto, a couple of games where he hasn't been at his best, you're on the bench. It's that it feels like that seniority thing in jobs where the senior guys, the older people always get the respect, so we'll always get a little bit more leeway than the new guys. And for me, it shouldn't work like that. It should be your best players get put on the pitch if they're healthy. But we've been like this for 3 years, which is why we're in the position we're in for a second year in a row. Uh, 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 uh. Yeah. So yeah, listen, Nate saying Nanto stepped in and stepped up. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, he did. Absolutely. And somebody just said there, it's gone up now. Um, saying you can't blame the managers, the players 100%. And I do not disagree with that. This is what I was saying when Jesse got sacked. Because again, you still had people saying, "Oh, it wasn't working under Jesse because he couldn't get the best out of Harrison. He couldn't get the best out of so and so, whoever it was." But now we're on to a third manager where we're seeing the same kind of performances. It's not just the manager, but for me, the manager is the one that puts the team out, and you've got to give yourself the best chance from the start for me. SJ44 saying Raz must be watching Alien thinking I must be awful. Alien is not getting dropped. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Even with the question about Rasmus possibly coming back in for Ailing, he's not getting dropped. He's the captain of the team right now. He gets his Luke Ayling chance from the crowd every single time he does anything. So he's not coming out the team. But that's the problem that we've got. We need a headstrong coach, and I don't think Javi is headstrong. I'm afraid. That's why he's got a flexible contract. Uh, let's have a look. Francis here saying, for me, I didn't like Bamford coming off. Rodrigo was ineffective throughout. Mm. Oh, that's another thing as well. Just before I forget, Jorginho being dropped. That's what I'm saying. Jorginho hasn't been bad overall. He hasn't been great, but for me, it's easy to drop him, isn't it? He's one of the new guys. Just drop him to the bench. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Yeah. Jack is saying, don't rewrite history. Rasmus is absolute garbage. Jack, not rewriting it, but it's one of the 2 options that we've got, Jack. It's really as simple as that. And the amount of times, and I'll say it again if you've just come in, the amount of times that Alien gets caught in behind, or like you saw today, Matoma just had him on toast. Like he was done. He was done. Rasmus will probably give you a little bit more defensively, but nothing going forward. Whereas Luke is more going forward and leaves an ocean of space defensively. I'm not rewriting it. I know he looks like Bambi on ice when he's on the pitch, but we've got to try different combinations. We do. We've got to try something else a little bit different if it's not working. But listen, Ayling's not going anywhere in this team. Barney with a super chat. Thank you, Barney. This is tiring. Again, so many chances to score. Final third touches are poor. Jesse or Gracia, doesn't matter. Poor finishing again is what will do us in. Yeah, yeah, 100% Barney. And I mentioned it earlier in terms of just the lack of composure, the needing of waiting for that perfect opportunity to come. And you saw the two goals today. They were instinctive, weren't they? They were Bamford just hitting it with his right foot, hoping for the best. Got it. Jack Harrison, quick corner from Nanto, curling it with his right foot. Got it. That's how it's got to be instead of waiting for that extra pass, waiting for that other pass, taking too many touches before you release the ball. But that's why we're 19th people. It's a mix of lack of quality and a lack of confidence. Let's have a look. No, no, Lewis, no, not two. No, there wasn't two on the pitch. I didn't see that. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I'm gonna pull the Arsene Wenger. I didn't see it. Let me just check something here. While I'm just checking, see if any comments have come in. Please hit a like on the video. The best way to support the channel, and yeah, it's free of charge, of course. Right. Let me just give you some comments here from Gracia, and this is from the Phil Hay Twitter. So let me just give you this now. Gracia's reaction. If you asked me before the game, I would tell you we were looking for 3 points. After the game, we have to give value to the point. Every point counts. When you are out of possession against Brighton, you have to press a team. They are very good. That's why my players deserve credit because we followed the plan and they did it really well. Um, And Gracia said Bamford was fit to start, but not to complete 90 minutes. So again, we're at that thing with Bamford where we have to wrap him up in cotton wool. We had to manage many players, Rodrigo and Sinistera too, but for the next games, we'll be stronger. So let's see what we do in the next game with the starting lineup. Gracia on Harrison's form. He's an example in many things. He works for the team a lot, defending, attacking. The quality he has is out of doubt for me. I think he's a very good player. Right. And then finally here, I'm not happy with the way we attack. We need to improve. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Harrison, hey, he's a nice guy, isn't he? Even I think Jack Harrison's a lovely guy, but yeah, man, hey, I don't know. Leeds saying here we need to play two up front. Yeah, that's what I said that in the preview as well. Leeds, I think that we do need to change it up now. Just give us a different look of the team. This one up front is clearly not working quite clearly. So let's go with two up front. Take somebody out. It's not hard to take somebody out and give us another forward. And I think against Wolves that might be the way to go, especially with how defensive they are. We'll see what happens next week. We'll see. Geronimo, this is what I try and say. Nice doesn't win you games, yeah, but listen, if I speak, I be in big trouble, big trouble, and I don't want to be in trouble. So yeah, but I hear you. Nice doesn't win you games. No, I've said before, we need more SOBs. We do. There's a. Let me just try and go back up, see if I could get it. JP here, KG. What do you think about the fans booing, not aimlessly pressing the keeper at 0-0? It's because we've. All right, let me try not to. It's been programmed, hasn't it? Over the past since Bielsa came in, this is what we've been doing. We press no matter what. Never forget John Joe Shelby when he had Rodrigo, when Rodrigo was aimlessly playing in midfield, center midfield, saying to Rodrigo, "Hey, why are you doing that? Why'd you just keep on running around?" And Rodrigo said, "Because the manager wants me to." This is what we've been doing since Bielsa and under Marsh in a different way. Sometimes it would be the three going up to trying to get the ball instead of just one or two. This is what we've been kind of conditioned to see over the last couple of years. And probably if we see the opposition with the ball at with the ball, the keeper with the ball or defense, and we're not running after them, it probably looks to the crowd like they're not working hard, or those kind of good old English tropes. You need to work hard, but I think that's what it is. I think it's just conditioning. But you've got to understand, it's not. You do not have to run after every single ball. Sometimes you need to let the opposition like try and come onto you. Pause, because then if we're gonna just aimlessly run and try and get the ball every time, it leaves gaps in behind, as you saw today and in many other games that we've had. So yeah, um, that's the only thing I can think of. That's just my opinion anyway. Jacob saying I was shouting at the TV to not give in to the fans and stick to the game plan. Yeah, but you know what it is. If you've ever been Elland Road as well, you know how hard it is. It's very hard for the players and the manager to do so because it's a very, very on top of you crowd. It's a blessing and a curse. I'll never change it though. I always want it to stay that way at Elland Road. But yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Jimmy McShaw saying game plan was good, just wrong players in my opinion. Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Mm, yeah, and the pressing tires the players too. Of course it does, and it was early in the game. I think I remember that bit you're talking about. It was so early in the game. There's just no need to take your energy out like that against a team like Brighton. There's no need, but it's going to take a bit of time for people to get used to not being a heavy pressing team. It doesn't work. It doesn't work with the current players that we've got, and we just need to do something different now. Yeah, the passion. That's it. Passion merchant, man. Run around, get your kilometers in. Get your kilometers in. Yeah, Lewis, I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, listen, people. I'm gonna end it there. I will be back, like I say, with another show, probably Monday. It will be early in the week anyway. If you haven't already, please hit a like on the video. It is the best way to support the channel, and it makes other people see the video too. Smash a like on the video, subscribe, drop your comments after. Leeds 2, Brighton 2. Let me know if you thought we were unlucky or lucky. 19th in the table. We've got to start getting wins, people. It's as simple as that. Um, I'll be back, like I say, next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, people. Peace out.